How does it sound? Strange.
Mm-hmm. I was born severely hard of hearing, with these two things called LVAS, Large Vestibular Aqueduct Syndrome, and Mondini Syndrome. Basically, this means one thing. Throughout my life, my hearing was destined to get progressively worse.
The salon is not open on Mondays.
It doesn't happen to everyone with hearing loss, but for me, I was profoundly deaf, and my hearing aids were no longer beneficial by the time I was preparing to pack up for college.
People typically look at us as a burden or disability as a burden.
It definitely made a major impact on my life. I was mainstreamed, given hearing aids and put in speech therapy, which worked okay to help me lip read and vocalize. I was always doing extra work to keep up with socializing in school. I think of hearing aids kind of like my security blanket. My entire life, doctors pitched cochlear implants to me. I never really have this deep desire to hear. I have to admit, I was curious about the technology, and I thought it may help communication between me, my family, and coworkers in the future, and maybe even video editing. I was open-minded to the experience, but I know a lot of people are against the device. People mentioned pain and headaches to me, and I wasn't sure what to think. Doctors never suggested there would be issues and tend to pitch the cochlear implant as perfect. I actually am really proud to be deaf, and I'm so grateful I was privileged enough to be exposed to ASL. The deaf community is everything to me, and I was just curious about the truth. On surgery morning, we woke up at 4 a.m. and headed to Johns Hopkins. For cochlear implant surgery, an electronic device called the receiver under the skin behind the ear. But it does have some risk, such as swelling, vertigo, numbness around the ear, changes in taste, injuring facial nerve, and meningitis. I was nervous, but my family was there to support me for the majority of the experience. At the hospital, everyone was pretty rushed, but I was so happy and grateful to have my family with me. I did have a nice interpreter who was amazing to wake up so early in the morning with us. I was overwhelmed with one conflict: to fight the nurse to convince her my interpreter wasn't my +1 for pre-op. I needed my sister to film. After they stopped being difficult, they brought me back to the room set up, and it wasn't a problem anymore.
I need to check on your name then. She can tell me her full name and her birthday. Sure, Christine Marshall. Okay, and then birthday is.
No, she doesn't.
Do you have any allergies? No allergies. No allergies.
Then they marked my left ear where they planned to do it, and got me all connected to the medical jazz. I was just kind of waiting for a bit. Then the doctor came up with his surgery team, greeted me, and asked if I was ready. Then we were ready to go. Just before taking me back, they double-checked my health and made sure everything was safe.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Perfect. And your glasses are going to come to me. Your phone and your hearing aids are going to go to Ian.
Okay.
All right, all set. Well, we're ready to go.
Okay. The surgery itself takes about 3 hours. I was trying to go with the flow. My sister couldn't come back and film this part, but a team of about 5 brought me into the room and put me to sleep. When I woke up, I was a tad overwhelmed with everyone eyes on me. The doctors, nurse, my sister, and interpreter. I could not understand anything that was going on. I was really just happy my face wasn't paralyzed. After the surgery, I was really woozy, but was ready to go pretty quickly. I woke up all wrapped up and had a lot of people there to support me. In the past, after surgery, you'd stay overnight, but the surgery is outpatient now, so you can leave the same day. So I was sitting waiting for my wheelchair all dizzy and not processing anything they told me.
You have to sneeze or cough, do it with your mouth open, because it releases the pressure that would be, on the ear. Yeah, so if you feel one coming on, just open your mouth. Don't try to suppress a sneeze either. Okay. Okay. Can I get you anything, like water or anything before you go?
Thank you.
All right, I'll let you know when. Was that your mom that went to get the car?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you know when she calls. She's up front. Okay, and then we'll bring her up in a wheelchair.
All right, awesome.
Everything wrapped up smoothly, and my sister was there to understand the important aftercare instructions. We waited a super short time for my mom to pull the car around, and I was wheeled out to her. The absolute worst part of the whole experience was the car ride home. I was so dizzy and the ride was so bumpy. The whole ride home, my head felt pressure with every little jolt. When we got home, I was finally able to adjust and relax. A month later, it was activation time to turn on my implant. A transmitter sends sound signals to a receiver under the skin, which stimulates the auditory nerve.
Does it feel like it's holding well? Too tight? It feels loose, a little loose.
It'll hold a little bit better if you slip it up under your hair.
The implant doesn't work immediately or like magic. It takes a long time and process to get used to. Turning it on is only the start of the process. I was only able to fit in like 3 adjustment appointments. The activation day was a lot. It was definitely an indescribable amount of pressure with everyone. They were friendly and helpful, but at the same time, I didn't feel like I matched their expectations and anticipation. Also, I'm really not patient, and it was a lot of waiting and them doing practice testing and beeps before they could even turn it on. There's a long waiting process, and that sucked, honestly, because it just allowed time for my anxiety to build up.
So you're gonna hear some sounds, they might get a little loud. Let me know if they get too loud, like painful, or if you feel any tingling in your face or anything, okay?
This part here was weird, because the nerves in my face tingle at one point, but it was mostly just a bunch of beeping in my head. The cochlear is connected to nerves, and it's really weird. But that was just part of the testing.
Okay. I'm gonna play some more beeps now. Just let me know how loud you think they are, and let me know if you feel anything in your face.
I was waiting, and without warning, they just turned it on.
Like alien chirping.
I'm sorry. Is it too loud?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good. Okay, so it sounds like alien chirping. That might just be because your brain isn't used to all the high frequency information that it's getting now. That's a common report, that it sounds like aliens or like Mickey Mouse, like high frequency.
When it came on, I honestly thought it was tinnitus. Then it was more birds chirping. It was awful and I didn't like it. I really hated the device for a while after getting home. There was a lot of crying, panic attacks, and overstimulation, but eventually learned how to balance out its use. I really felt guilty for a while, thinking I wasn't being appreciative enough of the implant. But it was a worthy compromise, and I'm privileged to have a supportive family.
Yeah, it's like a chirping, so I don't know.
It's not going to be a pleasant sound quality at first.
In the office, I felt overwhelmed and scared and overstimulated. It slowly evolved to sound more like a crackly robotic sound. I couldn't hear voices, but the goal was for it to help with video editing and feeling safe in crowds.
It's weird, like this chirping.
It will get better, but it'll take a while for it to get better. And it only gets better by using it. But because you've had better hearing previously, your auditory memory of what sounds should sound like are going to help your brain make this sound a lot better. Then it does right this minute.
I realized it wasn't like a major change in my life, but there were some benefits. Looking back, it was an experience, and the biggest takeaway was learning that the device doesn't mean people will always compromise and accommodate. I still must always advocate for myself to have things like captions, interpreters, and other accommodations. I hope people can walk away from this video realizing the true value of ASL, while recognizing the cochlear implant is just another tool. To me, ASL provides full access, and the CI is just like security.
It's worth noting, I don't regret getting the device. I definitely want to thank everyone, especially my family, but also the doctors, audiologists, and nurses who supported me throughout.